Hey guys, this is Nick, and my main intention for this video is to share how to avoid burnout in your business, alright? And if you've ever heard of the show Cake Boss, it's actually on TLC, I believe. And that famous bakery is actually in a nearby town here in Jersey. And I went there, and all the pastries were so good, like so good, you'll slap your mama. It's better than any cake that you actually ever tasted in your life, any pastry you've ever had. Well, I've ever had personally. And people form lines every day waiting for new confections to come out of this dude's kitchen. He's famous. But what I notice is the baker doesn't have enough help and ends up trying to serve all of the customers himself. And he's scurrying around back and forth. He's busy with the request of the people, but oblivious to what's happening to him. His exhaustion is quickly becoming burnout. And what's worse is after a few visits, I've been there more than once, you can see a change in this dude, and he's getting thin. He's getting thin, and he's shriveling up every day. I don't think he's working out. I always see him in the bakery. So the problem becomes obvious. The man never stops to eat. That's what I thought. So how ironic is that? The baker doesn't stop to eat. He's busy serving everyone else, but never stops long enough to feed himself. With the food all around him, he's starving. And I just think that's ridiculous. Now, if you get the picture, so many business owners, they fail to tend to themselves. And eventually they're unable to really serve others. They're starving intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, and there's no personal growth in them all, really. They are always preparing something or creating something, creating content, not feeding their mind with information from people who are getting the results they want. They neglect to consume the nourishment and apply it to their own lives. Their talk is great, but their walk becomes fake. And they go through the motions, but they are emotionally and intellectually and just spiritually starving. They're so close to food, but never eating. And now, in the iceberg, reminds us that leaders actually need to lead themselves before they lead others. The starving baker I saw, I'm not going to mention his name, reminds me that I need to feed myself before feeding others. And when you're burnt out, it's because you haven't actually taken the time to invest in your own personal growth. It's like you ran out of gas and your tank is on empty and you need more perspectives to offer what you have, really. You need to listen to powerful audios like I do every day. Hear different perspectives of people getting the results you want. Alright? You can actually lock arms with us in my inner circle for tons of powerful audios. You need to sharpen the axe. I remember in grade school, they actually told me sharpen the axe. I don't know if you heard that phrase before. It actually comes from a story about two lumberjackers. They challenged each other to see who can cut down the most trees in one day. And at daybreak, the first one, he just started chomping down trees like one tree after another. He worked up a sweat early on, and by noon he had cut down like 16, 20 trees. And the other lumberjacker only cut down about 4 or 5 because it took the first 2 hours to sharpen his axe. Now, during this challenge, the challenger was laughing at him. He's like, "Oh, you're wasting time, but and you're doomed because I just started before you." But that's when things really got interesting, because by the early afternoon, the first lumberjacker who didn't sharpen the axe, he was slowing down, and it took him almost an hour just to cut a tree down, while his friend was picking up speed. And even though they were similar in strength, it wasn't about the strength, it was about whose axe was sharper. He started cutting down trees like it was nothing. The second lumberjacker, who actually sharpened his axe, had passed his friend, and he easily won. Now, it seemed like a waste of time in the very beginning to sharpen the axe in the morning, but in the long run, it actually saves him time and brings better results. And I hope that little story sticks with you. So you need to take care of yourself before you go ahead and start taking care of others, alright? So my lesson I took from the baker and the lumberjackers is, I don't care how selfish as it sounds, the best way you can serve and encourage other people is you need to tend to your own growth first. You need to listen to powerful audios. You need to be inspired. You need to eat. And stop starving in your business.